welcome to Motivational Monday. Today is the day where we are going to go over motivational topics based on connection, branding, and using your authentic talents to shine. My name is Katie May, and I am the owner of Shining by Design, and I am your branding mentor on how to build an authentic brand based on your connection. So today I wanted to jump a little bit more into Miss Carrie Green. She is one of my favorite entrepreneurs, and I hope you guys enjoy. And I wanted to talk today about one of the women who truly inspired me the most and was one of the very first people that ever inspired me to actually start to build a brand and to also teach other people how to do it. So I am screen sharing right now. This is her Instagram. I'll scroll to the top so you can see it. Her Instagram is Carrie Green. She is the founder of the Female Entrepreneur Association as well as FBA Create. She's the author of the bestseller She Means Business and hosts the podcast The She Means Business Show. Everything she talks about, just like how it says on her website, is to help women build a wildly successful business. She is just super real, and I feel like she was one of the first people that I actually heard talking about like creating time to schedule joy and to take breaks in your work life, even if that means that you're going to have a little bit more to catch up on a little while later. And so I think one of the big things to remember while you're looking through somebody else's feed and taking their motivation and applying it to your life is to remember that they are speaking from their current state of mind, and that maybe that you guys just aren't in the same state, and that's totally okay. So scrolling on Carrie's Instagram feed, I wanted to point out two things. One of them is this No More Excuses video. I love it. Definitely go check it out. And then this one as well. I'm going to click on it so we can all see it in the big form. If you want to grow, you have to push yourself out of your comfort zone. Success is not a comfortable process. You have to be willing to endure the struggle and to keep going until you reach the other side. And when I first read this and I saw it come across my feed, I was like, Carrie, what about the times that I'm really tired and I need a little bit more joy in my life? And I ended up finding one of her old videos. I scrolled for a little bit and I can't find it again because it's been a little while, but the video was basically talking about how she was making more time for herself and for her children. And she talks about it in a couple of different videos. One of them, she talks about how she rarely ever works Fridays. That Fridays are for her kids. Like that's the day that she gets to spend and enjoy with all of them without having the pressure of like something in the business kind of happening. So she intentionally created the time not only to work, but intentionally created the time not to work. And I know for me, starting out in my business, I got burnt out so quick, so overwhelmed with everything because I was like, oh my God, I have to figure out how to be a content creator, a website designer, a graphic designer, and all of these other things. And it's like, I dabbled in them before, like I've had fun with them before, but now I actually am doing it with a goal and with a purpose. And for me, that was so much scarier. And since there was just so much information to be learned, I was learning all this information and then I got burnt out. I didn't do anything for a few months. So then I started like getting back into like listening to all these business people. And the one thing that I continued to hear them say over and over again is change your mindset. And it's like, how are you supposed to change your mindset? I barely even know what mine is besides I'm freaking tired all the time. And I really struggled with this. I struggled with it for a while, trying to figure out what a mindset was and how I can even create a process to begin to change it. And that's when I stumbled across a lot of wellness videos, a lot of like self-improvement videos. I realized that I had an anxious attachment style and it was actually forcing my partners to grow resentment because of how much I would continually push them to figure out problems, and I wouldn't give them the space they needed to relax. And I think both are really, really important. I need to be somebody that is assertive and addresses problems, but at the same time, I also need to be kind and patient and give them the space that they need. And for the most part, it was just a breakdown in communication. Like, we just did not have the proper communication in place. But as I was looking for all this self-improvement and all of this wellness and how to like not be so dang tired all the time, I came across mindfulness. And mindfulness is this a beautiful connection to yourself. And that's why connection is so, so important to me. And the big thing about mindfulness is you do get to see the times, just like how Carrie says that when you are uncomfortable and you are struggling and you don't see the success that you want, mindfulness allowed me to connect with myself and create time to push myself out of my comfort zones. But coming from somebody who grew up in a fairly traumatic childhood, there was so much healing that had to be done. And for me, that healing could only take place in an environment I felt comfortable in. And a lot of my healing had to come from places like the library and coffee shops. And it had to come in the form of like parks and little like nature walks. But it was because I intentionally created that time outside of times that I would work to go out and just sit with myself and breathe and ask myself, what's going on? How can I help you? And what do you need? And asking myself those 3 questions were so pivotal in my journey to be able to push myself outside of my comfort zone and endure the process more, but also do it without so much burnout. And that's why I want to help people and teach them how to create connection to themselves and develop a brand that's based on their authentic talents, so they don't have to feel super duper burnt out about all of this craziness. Because I've seen people online make 3, 4K, $1,000 sales a month with a really crappy website that they just kind of threw together, but their branding and social media presence was so on point that it didn't matter what the website looked like, as long as it was easy and convenient for people to go through the sales process. And if you're anything like me, you probably like to complicate things without intentionally doing it. You're just like, oh, like, this is the way all these other people are doing it, so I'm gonna do it like this, you know? So I don't know, personal thoughts, but the motivation for this is to figure out the ways that you are feeling burnt out and where you are uncomfortable, and not necessarily pushing that uncomfortableness away, but learning to connect to that uncomfortable feeling, asking what you can learn from it, what your body needs in that moment. Maybe it is more rest, but maybe it's just doing your work in a new environment, you know? There's so many different solutions and possibilities that can lead you to different answers. So I really, really encourage you that if you are working on building your brand, working on your business, to really figure out ways that you can push yourself outside of your comfort level, but also do it through your connection so that you don't feel burnt out in the long run. One more thing for our Motivational Monday. I also wanted to do this one because I know I was a very agreeable person for a long time, and when I started to switch from being so agreeable to everybody else's wants, where I would push my needs down, people were happy and compliant with it. But then whenever I switched and started telling people, like, I cannot take care of your wants until my needs are met. And that's, for me, is really, really basic. I need food, I need shelter, I need water, I also need rest, and I also need the space to creatively. So Carrie posted this a little while ago, and it says, to the women who are labeled aggressive, keep being assertive. To the women who are labeled bossy, keep on leading. To the women who are labeled difficult, keep telling the truth. To the women who are labeled too much, keep taking up space. And to the women who are labeled awkward, keep asking hard questions. Please don't shrink yourself to make people happy. Be yourself. You're beautiful that way. And I don't know, I love that so much because on my journey of healing parts of myself, it's allowed me to step into this more assertive and awkward person, but doing it a lot more confidently. And because of that switch, there's been a lot of people in my life that have told me that I no longer have a place in their life because I will no longer be complacent in the ways that they want me to be. And it's hard. It really is. Going to her last post, like, there's like, feel like you're failing, being scared by your dreams, and go at it alone. Like, there are so many times where I take the next step on my journey. Journey car. I take the next step on my journey and to heal these parts of myself and to be like, oh my gosh, like, to live the life of my dreams, I have to stand up for myself more, and I have to be firm and assertive. And there's so many people in my life that have been like, well, I'm not going to accept that from you. And I've had to walk away from those people, and I still love them. I still hold them in a very kind place in my heart. I used to be that person. Like, who am I to judge, But at the same time, to live to the fullest potential I need to live to be able to help the people I need to help on this world, I can no longer have them a part of my life. And it's happened year after year, time after time. And for a while, it was so emotionally exhausting. And now it's like, okay, like, you don't want to have a place in my life right now. Like, that's fine. I'm going to continue to do me and be confident and creative and take up space and be the best that I can be. And I think the biggest part about all of this shift was understanding that my identity at its core was as an artist, as a creator. No matter what I do, I can do it from an authentic place of creativity. So, for example, I'm a gymnastics coach, right? So I can choose to just do what I'm told, or I can choose to connect with these young women and to create something special and create an environment where it feels fulfilling to go to gymnastics. And the major difference is the identity that I decide to take. Being a coach or a painter or a photographer or an architect or even just a CEO of a company, you have to be an artist at your core. And that is why I really encourage the people I work with to take on this persona of being an artist and just see what opportunities come to the surface of what they're able to actually see in the world when they take on this new persona. So the two pieces from Miss Carrie Green for our Motivational Monday is, first of all, again, if you want to grow, you have to push yourself out of your comfort zone. But to be able to push yourself outside of your comfort zone without burnout, you have to build an authentic and beautiful connection to your body, mind, and soul. And the second part of our Motivational Monday is to keep taking up space. Keep being who you are. Keep growing your haters, as Cat Williams says, if you only have one hater, you need to figure out how to get 3 by the end of this week. And the major thing is, like, anybody who's made a radical change on this earth has had haters, good or bad. They've had haters and they've had supporters and followers. And if you only have friends but no followers and no haters, then you're not doing enough. And I'm still struggling with this myself. Don't get me wrong. I'm still figuring out how to take up space and how to put myself out online. It's really scary sometimes. But the more that I do it, the more authentic my connection becomes and the more fun that I'm able to have with it. So keep taking up space, keep building your connection with yourself. And I hope that you guys all have a wonderful month of April. And I will see you guys next time. Peace. If you're looking for a little bit more information on how to build an authentic brand based on your connection, then definitely click the link in my bio. I offer free one-on-one Zoom calls so that we can determine 2 action steps that you can take today to start to build the connection to your brand of your dreams. Check out my Instagram as well. I've been a little bit less social on there as I've been trying to figure out how to actually create views and comments on YouTube, which has been so overwhelming but really, really fun. And if you have any questions, drop a question down below. And in the meantime, let me know what you are doing today to build your authentic connection to yourself. But I will see you guys next time.